All right, good morning. We are streaming from a very weird location today, so I'm sorry about the glare in the background. Currently in the city, just got a haircut. Life has gotten in the way today. There was things that could not be moved around. I have to go to a bar mitzvah tomorrow. My wife's downstairs getting her hair done, so we'll do this for about an hour, and then I'll head back up to go get my kid from school because it's a half day as well. So there's just too much going on, but we're ready to go. I do have my coffee, thanks to the Valerie Joseph Salon. Made me a nice coffee just now. And they gave me this very sketchy workflow to get started today. So nice to see everyone today. Today's show, I want to look mostly at some of the awards and then some of the, I want to look at some of the free agents. So we'll just do a little exploration. We'll talk a lot in the chat, and we'll get it going today a little bit. Yeah, ridiculous backdrop. But don't you guys, do you guys love my fall theme? MLB is loving it. They helped me build that, obviously. So that's the big thing. And let's go over. I know some Silver Sluggers were announced last night. I made a video on this guy last night, Mr. Ernie Clement. If anybody wants to watch that, it was pretty good. He got a lot of hits, as we know, in the postseason, 30 hits. So there's a video up on my channel about that. But let's get right into it, and let's go look at the Silver Slugger winners from last night, because they've done some of them. So we'll start with the NL Silver Slugger Award winners, and we'll see if anybody in the chat has any beefs, any issues with some of these. Well, we got a whole ad here. Don't want to really look at that. But if anybody has any beefs with any issues with any of this stuff, then we can get into that. So it looks like Pete Alonso was our first baseman, but I want to real quick. I want to jump over and look at our leaderboards by position, and then that will give me an idea of what we're looking at. We'll go to expected statistics, and we'll actually just sort by WOBA, and we'll go by positions. All right, so first we're looking at first basemen in the major leagues. So in the National League, they got it right according to the ex-WOBA, but even if we'd go by actual WOBA, it would have been Nick Kurtz, although he didn't have enough at-bats, but that's American League. So National League, it would have been between Freddie, Michael Busch, and Pete Alonso for the thought here, for the win here in the National League. So National League award goes to Pete Alonso, who will be on the program on Monday. So get excited for the polar bear. We're going to ask him lots of questions. We'll be taking all sorts of information from you guys so that I can help build a good conversation with Pete, and not about free agency, about other stuff, about how he does what he does and about his journey and things like that. But anyway, you saw he had a hell of a year. The actual numbers were 272, 347, 525 for an 871 OPS this year. Hit 38 home runs, which is a good year for Pete, but I wouldn't say the best year he's ever had by any means. 170 hits, that might be a career high. Let's go look at Pete for his career. I'm just curious to see where this one ranked in terms of some of the other stats, if the internet will cooperate. Yeah, that's what I thought. Career high in hits, 170. Also, back-to-back years playing 162 games. So that's nothing to do with the award we're looking at, but I do think that's pretty cool. When you see 162 back-to-back years, it's a pretty good place to be as a ball player. So, I don't know. Looking at the award winners here in the National League, Freddie Freeman, Michael Busch were the two guys that I would say had the biggest beef. So let's go check that out. Freddie What were his stat line? What was his stat line? 295. So better average, slightly lower OPS, less homers. So I'm good with Pete winning it over Freddie. And then let's look at Michael Bush. Also had a really good year. Hi from Italy. Hello from Italy, Alessandro. What are the odds for Colorado Rockies versus Chicago White Sox World Series next year? I would bet they're insanely bad. All right, so Bush 261, 866 OPS, so just a touch lower. Can't match the home runs. He's close, but can't quite get there. So I think Polar Bear was a good answer for first base. All right, second base in the National League. Looks like it should have been a Ketel Marte runaway. If not, maybe Brendan Donovan could have been the option. So let's see where the actual award went to. Ketel Marte. That looked like a pretty runaway. So I have no issues with Ketel Marte as our. I have no issue with Ketel Marte as National League. National League Silver Slugger. Yeah, I mean, he's way ahead of the field. Brendan Donovan. Well, if we go by actual WOBA. Bryce Terang would have been the second choice here, as he had a 346 WOBA. That's way below the 381 of Ketel Marte. Ketel Marte had a hell of a year. Final stats: 283, 376, 517, 893 OPS. So even a better OPS than Pete Alonso, who wins the first base Silver Slugger. He goes ahead and wins the second base Silver Slugger, not a position typically known to outperform first basemen offensively. Just with a hell of a year. 28 home runs, scored 87 runs. The expected stats are even better than the regular stats. So, pretty good job. I have a beef with you not pitching still. Your slider was a nasty pitch. That beef should not be taken up with me. That's just baseball. All right, so that's it for second base in the National League. That takes us to third base. Ooh, this was a close race. Max Muncy, Manny Machado, as well as a sneaky Miguel Andujar, although way less plate appearances, so he wasn't going to be able to compete. All right, let's look at the tail of the tape. Muncy versus Machado. Muncy only 388 plate appearances, so maybe has him beat on a per plate appearances basis, but not enough probably to chase him down in the counting stats. 388 plate appearances for Muncy, only 19 home runs. Did have an 846 OPS. Let's look at Manny. I mean, Manny's 615 at-bats, so it's going to equate to much better counting stats. Much worse in terms of OPS, 795 OPS. Man, he's been hovering a little bit below 800 the last few years. I would have thought he would have been higher than that. So 275, 335, 460 for Manny this year, 27 home runs. I don't know. I don't know if I have a huge problem with this, but there is another player lurking here. Mr. Eugenio Suarez. Now, he did get traded mid-season, but it's hard to ignore the fact that he started the year on the Diamondbacks and he hit 49 home runs this year. So I think it's okay that Manny won it, but definitely interesting. What does this say here? Machado has now won back-to-back Silver Slugger awards. 3 since 2020. First Padres player since Tony Gwynn to win at least 3 Silver Sluggers. Machado batted 275, 27, 95, 2025, All-Star for 7 times his career. So that's really about it. All right. I don't have a huge issue with that. I mean, there were some guys that if they got more playing time, might have chased him down. All right, let's go look at the shortstops in the National League because Perdomo was the winner. And by WOBA, he would be the best hitting shortstop in the whole league. The next closest would have been either Trey or Lindor. Perdomo's got them beat on batting average. Nope, Trey's got the better batting average. All right. This guy's a very underrated guy. Is Manny on his way to the Hall? I think that's fair to say. If you look at Manny on Baseball Reference, which I can do real quick, the WAR stat is big. And actually, this is a good conversation for maybe after I get through these winners. Is a little bit of Hall of Fame talk about active players, because I have a little slide for that. But 61.7 WAR with a lot of career to go He's probably going to easily clear 80 WAR. Pretty hard not to get in when you're above 80 WAR. All right. Anyway, Geraldo Perdomo, 290, 389, 462, 851 OPS, 20 home runs, 27 steals, scored 98 runs, which is impressive. For the D-backs, he's going up against, in this category, Trey Turner, who hit 304, 355, 457, 812 OPS, so slightly less OPS, similar amount of hits, less homers, more steals. I'm good with Perdomo there. And then my buddy Lindor, also in the mix, he went 267, 346, 466, 812 OPS, so Perdomo has him beat as well. 172 hits, 31 home runs, 31 steals. I mean, it's a great year. Great all-around year, but I think Perdomo's offensive production beats Francisco, which is unfortunate for Francisco a little bit because it was really just like one patch of time where he didn't really keep up. Love Lindor, but Perdomo probably deserved more. I think that's where I land as well on this one. I think that's where I land as well. Yeah, Domo. You know what's interesting about Perdomo is people like just don't know about him at all. Does a little bit of all of it. All right. Other than that, the National League guys that were in the conversation, I guess, Ellie De La Cruz, but he has not made enough contact. CJ Abrams. Okay, I think that's fine. All right, let's go look at the outfielders. Left field. Who was the winner? So they just did straight outfield, huh? It was Soto, Carroll, Tucker. Soto, Carroll, Tucker. This is where it's probably going to get a little tighter. Let's just go by. Oh, you can't go by position. So Soto, Carroll, Tucker. Man, too bad you can't just go completely outfield. Soto, Carroll, Tucker. All three of these guys are right fielders. All right, National League. Soto by Woba. Soto definitely is a lock. Acuna, but doesn't have enough at-bats. He would have been in their mix. Carroll and Tucker. These are the next guys. Other guys in the mix that had enough at-bats would have been Tatis. Actually, Mickey Moniak, but not quite enough at-bats probably. And then it's a pretty big drop-off after that. So the only guy that feels like he probably got screwed here is Tatis. So let's look at Soto, Corbin, and Tucker versus Tatis. Soto, I mean, 921 OPS, 43 homers, almost a 400 on base. He's probably in no matter what. Corbin Carroll, one of my favorite players in baseball, 884 OPS, 31 homers, 32 steals. And Tuck, who's a big free agent, 841 OPS, 22 home runs, 25 steals. So where's Tatis? Tatis just won the Gold Glove, ends up not being able to quite edge out these other dudes in Silver Slugger. 25 home runs, 32 RBIs, 814 OPS. It's very similar. Who in the chat thinks that Tatis could have edged out one of these guys? I think it's pretty close. He might have an argument on Tucker, maybe. Here's Tatis. Tucker has him beat slightly by ex-Woba, but let's go look at Tucker's page again. PCA could have been in center if his bat didn't fall off a cliff, but it really did in the second half. That's so true. So Tucker's got him beat by OPS by about 30 points. Tatis did get way more at-bats. He scored 111 runs. Got more hits. I don't know. This one could have went either way, actually, in my opinion. This is where Tuck, his injury probably almost cost him this award, but I could see this one could have easily went either way. Very similar years. Very similar years. Yeah, Soto's just unbelievable. Every single year. You know that he led the league in on-base percentage this year, Juan Soto. Led the league in on-base with a 396 clip. It's also the worst on-base of his career. So, interesting combination of leading the league in a category, but it's also the worst of your career, just showing you that your floor is quite possibly higher than other people's ceilings when it comes to on base. So Juan Soto, everybody, what a stud. Now, just for shits and giggles, let's take a look at the center fielders here. I'm curious who else would have gotten maybe close to the mix in the National League. Buxton is in the American League. Jackson Merrill, but he doesn't quite equal up. Good year, but not quite there. Brandon Marsh, actually. But again, this just shows you how tough it is to be a elite center fielder and hit. Look at all the ex-Wobas. Almost everybody's in the blue here. Harrison Bader, believe it or not, by actual Woba, would have been the top National League center fielder in production, which I actually talked to him the other night. Makes a lot of sense. We're going to have him on the show. But yeah, I mean, PCA was in the mix. Second half kind of fell off. So I think I'm pretty good with those awards. Catcher Hunter Goodman, and then DH Shohei Ohtani. So I think Hunter Goodman, it's cool to see a Rocky getting a little bit of action here. I think Hunter Goodman's going to be way ahead of the pack in the National League. I know Cal Raleigh in the American League, obviously. Wow, not way ahead of the pack, believe it or not. Cal Raleigh in the American League. Will Smith has him beat, but Will Smith only had 436 plate appearances this year, whereas Hunter Goodman had 579. Drake Baldwin also right there, as well as William Contreras. So what are the counting stats on these dudes? Will Smith ends up with 17 home runs, 901 OPS, and 362 at-bats. And Hunter Goodman, all right, 31 home runs. Makes sense that he won it. 843 OPS, but with way more at-bats. I know he plays for the Rockies, but I feel pretty good about Hunter Goodman winning that award. And then DH, I mean, I'm sure it's going to be, absolute landslide in terms of, for Shohei. But it was close. Shohei and Schwarbs. So Schwarb has the craziest year ever, doesn't win Silver Slugger. This was probably... He didn't have another 50-50 year, but Ohtani still found a way to make history at the plate. 55 dingers, 146 runs scored, most by any Dodger in the modern era, 20 stolen bases. So, man, this was a tight one. Schwarber and Ohtani in this spot. 928 OPS for Kyle. What's Shohei? I mean, 1,000 OPS for Shohei. It's crazy that you can hit, how many did Kyle hit? 59? Kyle hit 56 home runs and did not win the Silver Slugger, and it's pretty easily justified when Shohei hit one less home run but had a 500 higher point OPS advantage. So that's pretty crazy. Did I ask Bader if he's coming back to the Mets? I asked him what he was looking for. The information I got was he's looking to play every day. That's all I know. He's just looking for a place to play every day. He's bounced around to a lot of teams lately. So we'll see how that plays out. But, Bader's a hell of a ball player. My mom's asking, where am I doing the show from? I'm doing the show from a second floor above the hair salon. And, it's not really finished. Little industrial, so we have a little bit of a weird background today. But anyway, that's where we're at. Baldwin at the catcher position might have had a shot. I don't disagree with that. If we go back to the catcher position real quick, I mean, I think the Shohei Schwarber one, it's actually weird, but it's kind of clear to me. Drake Baldwin, who I think will win Rookie of the Year, probably in the National League. 274, 341, 469 for an 810 OPS, 111 hits, 19 home runs. It's just hard to beat out that 31 home runs by Hunter Goodman. So I think Hunter Goodman makes sense. And then we have in the DH, I mean, again, it was close. But I think it's it's fairly clear that Ohtani is pacing is ahead. I mean, there's no difference in terms of plate appearances. 727 for Shohei, 724 for Kyle. Shohei hasn't beaten batting average, slugging percentage. I mean, it's wild that Kyle didn't get anything. But yep, Shohei hangs on. So that's I think that was all of the NL Silver Sluggers. Oh, there's one more, Alec Burleson. He wins as utility. I didn't know they did utility for Silver Slugger. I had one of my favorite strikeouts versus Alec Burleson, actually, to end a game, to get maybe my last career save in 2024. Early on in the year, I had got a save in St. Louis, struck out Burleson to end the game. Good hitter, though. 290, 343, 459 for an 802 OPS. Played all over the field. Kind of a guy that a lot of people maybe don't know about, but a really good bat. 144 hits this year, 18 homers. Hits the ball hard, got a lot of good metrics here offensively. 76 percentile ex-WOBA. Above average in every category except for launch angle and sweet spot, which if he combined that a little bit better, he could have maybe hit a few more dingers. Chase rates about average. He doesn't walk quite enough, but other than that, he's pretty good all around the board offensively. Every single thing above average. Bat speed, barrel, hard hit is right at average. Squares it up really well. Whiff percentage, K percentage, all good things, all good things. All right, so, you guys want to see the Burleson strikeout? Yeah, sure. We can go real quick to a little detour of 2024 baseball. Cards, Metros. Waiting for this to load for a sec. So 2024, it was in St. Louis. Ottavino entered the game, so it's got to be this one. Yeah, I got myself in a little bit of trouble in this inning. I gave up a home run to Newt Bar. This was so bad. This is not a sweeper. This is a gyro slider that I throw down the middle. So I got clipped by Newt Bar, which kind of made it interesting. There's our guy Bader watching me give up a homer. Anyway, got in a little bit of trouble because I gave up a hit to Herrera here. Goes with it. That's what you got to do against my backdoor sinker. You got to go the other way. So good swing there. Then I walked Nolan, but then I kind of got out of, kind of wiggled my way out of it. Strikeout of Goldie, as he thought this was a sinker and it was a four seam. So he swings way off the plate. We'll take that. And then here's the at bat versus Burleson to end the game. First pitch cutter. Sinker down. Now he's actually the rare lefty bat that you can throw sinkers to from right-handed slot. Got a lot of chop in his game. There's a sweeper. And I get ahead in the count finally. Then I try to gas him upstairs with my 92. And I remember what I was thinking here. So I got him to swing at a pitch up and away that wasn't a strike. And then I just said, well, if you're going to swing at that, maybe you'll chase a sinker off that I throw more up and away than that. And that's what happened. Got him with the sinker. Ball game over. Metros win it. So just reading the at-bat there is what kind of worked out for me. I knew that I had him in swing mode, and then I threw him a tough pitch to hit. So anyway, good job by me. And good job by Burleson to win that Silver Slugger award. And yep, that's the Silver Sluggers. So that's it for that. Let's get in the chat for a second, and we will we'll see what we want to talk about here. Now that we went through all the Silver Sluggers, I have a little bit of a board I can put up about guys who are current that could end up in the Hall of Fame, and we can talk about that a little bit. Do I think the MLB The Show has my pitches and animation accurate? So I haven't seen the more modern version. Like I haven't seen last year's version or this year's version, but I know earlier in my career when I looked at it, it was too much. They had me throwing more cross body than is realistic. But my pitch mix was there. I mean, they usually kind of copy and paste that. So I don't know, maybe. Can a guy start learning to take walks at age 27? How common is that? I think that can happen for sure. It's about being selectively aggressive. You figure out what type of pitches that you can handle and can't handle and what type of pitches you want to swing at. ultimately. And if you start anticipating a little better, you can set up yourself in a system where you can start to take some more close pitches that you might have otherwise swung at, and then you can start generating some more walks. I think another big part of getting a big part of getting walks is being okay striking out looking. Not a lot of guys are okay going down looking, but really that's the key. Because if you're always thinking you have to protect the plate with 2 strikes, you'll end up swinging out a lot of bad pitches. So sometimes you have to be okay going down looking, and that will lend itself to drawing more walks. Like on 3-2, if you really commit to getting a good pitch to hit and not just automatically swinging, a good chance the pitcher is going to throw you ball 4, and now you have an extra walk. So that makes sense to me. All right, what else we got in here? So the other utility finalists were Donovan and Cronenworth. Okay. Burleson beats him out. And Ben Dyson here is saying, I had no idea Goodman hit that many homers, but that's great for the catcher position, doing well league-wide. Yeah, I mean, Raleigh with the crazy home runs, and then obviously Hunter Goodman. We know it's Colorado, but I have to say, home runs are not the real boost in Colorado. It's mostly just hits. So if you hit 31 home runs in Colorado, that's pretty legit. That's pretty legit. I don't have a problem with that. Is there ever a way for a relief pitcher to ever win a Gold Glove? Probably not. You'd have to have so many chances. I mean, there are guys that are awesome fielders that are relievers, like Mariano and lots of guys over the years. But to win a Gold Glove, it's more about volume. Like you have to make a lot of plays. So. Okay, there's been a lot of talk about Skubal getting traded and teams that'll be interested. I think every team will be interested, including this Blue Jay team. I think he would be an interesting. I mean, you see what played in the playoffs. Yamamoto kind of was the difference maker in the postseason, and Skubal is on the short list with Yamamoto. Skubal, Skeens. Skubal looked incredible in the postseason this year. He can't do it all himself, but you add him to a team that's more well-rounded than what the Tigers currently have with their pitching staff. That's mostly reliever types. Watch out. But I think that the offers would be huge on Tarek if he got posted out there. And then, and speaking of being posted, Jeff Passan, my buddy, just announced that Munetaka Murakami would be posted today. He's a very fascinating prospect, and maybe we should talk about him a little bit. But you know, he's coming over from Japan, so maybe we'll talk a little bit about some of the guys coming over from overseas in a minute. This is about my pitching delivery on the show. It's never fully accurate. It's either the motion or the pitch mix being wrong, or hell, sometimes they get the height and birthplace wrong. Yeah, this should be copy and paste. This shouldn't be that hard, right? There's no competitor to the MLB The Show, though, really. I mean, I know there's some fun role-playing simulators and things like that, but not as much like actual gameplay stuff. Wow, Goodman was much better on the road. See, that there's even more information from Marcus here in the chat that Hunter Goodman is not just a product of Coors Fields. That's impressive. A Skubal trade would almost guarantee a Savage going the other way. Don't think the Jays are that willing. Can't trade Trey Savage. No chance you can trade Trey Savage right now. Canada might revolt. The very nice, gentle people of Canada might revolt. They'd have to give up. Whoever gets Skubal is going to have to give up big, big pieces. So, what do I think about Luis Arraez taking first pitch strikes down the middle every time? Feels like it shouldn't matter because he doesn't strike out, but I've been hearing a lot of complaining about it. He needs to be more selectively aggressive. He has a little more pop, but you can't get yourself in 0-2 holes all the time. It allows pitchers to throw you tough pitches. A lot of times the best pitch to hit is the first pitch. I've noticed that as well. He gives too much ground to the pitcher, ultimately. I think he can get himself in better counts. And Luis has a little bit of pull side pop. I've seen it. Hit 2 home runs against us for Team Venezuela in our USA game. Like, there's pop there if he wants to take his shots, but he's so committed to his contact rate and everything. But I don't know. He's an interesting free agent too. I don't think he's going to get paid very well, despite his unique skill set, because some of the other stuff's just not going to look good in the algorithms. All right, so we have some good stuff in here. Now, I wanted to throw up a quick something that I have in my files here that maybe we can get the juices flowing for a second because, yeah, this right here. Active players versus Hall of Famer by position. I thought this was interesting to look at and just talk about really quick before I go look at some of the top free agents as we wind down today. But who on the active list is going to get in? Now, we had looked at Manny Machado earlier. That was the question in the chat. The average Hall of Fame third baseman has basically 69 Baseball Reference WAR. Manny's already at 61.7 with a lot of years left on his contract, so he feels like a lock. Nolan, who has often felt like a lock to me, and I believe he should be a Hall of Famer no matter what with his 10 Gold Gloves and everything. But he's got a little ground to cover up if he's going to get to that average Hall of Fame third base mark. It's not a guarantee that he's going to get another 11 or 12 WAR in his career. He's going to have to play. He's going to have to buck his aging trend a little bit because he's definitely declined a little bit offensively the last few years. I know he's working really hard behind the scenes, and we're going to talk about him a lot as we go. But those are my third basemen. Jose Ramirez, I think he's still right in the prime, so I think he's going to pass Nolan Arenado in current WAR this year and head towards there. Bregman, we're still far away from that conversation. You can maybe make it. And I'm not going to talk about Chapman or Turner. I think they're too far away. Other people that people are saying is a lock. Judge is a lock. Yeah, Judge is definitely a lock. Mookie's already cleared the bar for average Hall of Fame right fielder. So I think Mookie's a lock with the 4 World Series. Certainly. Ooh, we have a highlighter here. Yeah, we do. Mookie's a lock. Judge is definitely going to get in. Stanton's an interesting one. So I'm highlighting my locks. I think actually all 3 of these guys are locks right there. I mean, Shohei's a ridiculous lock, right? Pretty sure that's going to happen this year. I mean, I don't know for a fact, but it seems like that might happen. Wow, this is a good question. What hat is Freddie wearing going into Cooperstown? That's a great question. That thank you for that question in the chat because that allows me to go ahead and take a look at Freddie on both teams and kind of see where the bigger impact will lie. I mean, I don't know how many more years he has with the Dodgers. We'll see that in a second, but so he played 12 years in Atlanta and put up 43 WAR. He is way behind that in LA, although he does have slightly better numbers in LA. He's hitting 310 with a 907 OPS for the Dodgers, and for the Braves, he hit 295 with an 893 OPS, but it's just so many more counting stats. He's 35 now. He's been an all-star 4 straight years for the Dodgers, which is interesting, but he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the Braves. World Series, he's won 2 with the Dodgers, 1 with the Braves. What was I about to go look at? Oh, well, his contract status. That should be here at the bottom. So it looks like there's 2 more years on that contract with the Dodgers. So he'll be able to tack on more with the Dodgers. This is a good debate. As of right now, I say Braves. That's my personal opinion, and I agree with CD24. But I could see if he goes all-star, more World Series with the Dodgers, it starts to become a little bit closer. Some guys are saying blank cap. Some people are saying NL cap, just National League. Spectre here, 1 to 2 years left. No way he doesn't go in as a Brave, but if he gets another ring, I don't see a world in which he doesn't retire a Dodger. I know that Freddie's big on getting to 3,000 hits. He might be the next guy to have a shot at that. Where is he at right now in terms of hits career? He is at 2,431, which is the active hits leader, I believe. So he needs another 569 hits. That's more than 2 years, so he's going to have to keep playing. He'll fool everyone and wear a Team Canada hat. I think this is going to be tight. This is a good argument, so I like that. I like that we unearthed that a little bit. Let's get back into my locks for Hall of Fame. I think Freddie is a lock, so I'm going to highlight Freddie over here. Now, what do we think about Goldie? I think Goldie's a lock, too. Goldie's numbers are right there with Freddie. I know he's going to try to play 1 more year. I like Goldie in this. Mike Trout's a lock. All right, and these pitchers are all locks. Verlander, Scherz, and then it gets tough after that. So to me, these are all the locks. Oh, Machado could get to 3,000 hits too. That's a good call. Well, Rockies or Cardinals hats for Arenado is an interesting thought, because it's clearly Rockies, but his career's not over yet. So I don't know. That's going to be interesting to see. So these are my locks. I would say other guys that are trending, but they have to keep going, because people are asking about Lindor and some others. I'll switch the color on the trending. I would say guys that are definitely trending, like they'll get there if they just keep going. Oh, you know what? We have another lock. For me, Jose Altuve is a lock. I know we have the trash can incident and all that, but I feel like he's a super lock. All right, let's get back to trending. Trending for me, Lindor, definitely trending. Harper. Oh, wow. There's some more locks here. I didn't even think about it. Soto's a full lock. I think Stanton's getting in. So I have these two guys as locks. All right. Other guys trending. I think Sale can put the finishing touches. I think Garrett can get in. I think Bregman is trending. The shortstops I'm very unsure about. Yeah, see, I don't have Lindor as a lock. Maya says Lindor's a lock. I don't think he's quite a lock yet. I think he's trending. I think the guys in the green are probably going to get there. They just need to finish it off and get to that war number a little higher. And honestly, that's where I might actually take Nolan and put him into a green category. I know he's one of my best friends, so that's a little sketchy, but I think he has more work to do. I think he would tell you he has more work to do. Also, there's no Kershaw listed here. Kershaw's a lock. And then for me, relief pitcher, now this is a little weird. 37.8 WAR is a crazy number for a relief pitcher, but I think all three of these guys get in. I'm putting them in blue because it's a little weird. I think Chapman, Jansen, and Kimbrel all have a pretty good shot to get in. I think Chapman and Jansen are basically locks. I think Kimbrel is not really a lock, but I can see it if when you take a step back, Kimbrel might get in there. People are saying Salvi is a lock. You think Salvi's a lock over JT? And also, he's got a lot more WAR to go. I know he just got an extension. I would say these two guys are trending, but I don't think that they're locks yet. So I think I got them more in the trending category. I don't think Yelich is going to make it. I don't think Marte. I don't think Chapman. I don't think Turner. A really interesting one, and where I'm a little passionate about, is DeGrom. I think DeGrom should be a Hall of Famer, but by traditional statistics, he's never going to clip. He's probably not going to get to 72.9 WAR, right? 45.2, but the peak of it is insane. So I don't know. Let's go take a quick look at DeGrom over here on Reference. And Reference is a good page for Hall of Fame, because I care about B-WAR for Hall of Fame much more than anything else. See, to me, this is the greatest pitcher of all time on a pitch-to-pitch basis for me, especially watching him up close. I mean, insane. So he's at 48 WAR. He's only pitched 1,539 innings, and he's only won 96 games. So the counting stats are not there. But 2.57 career ERA, all-time leader in strikeout to walk ratio. And you just go look at this insane moment in time, 2018, 2019, where he put up a 9.4 WAR and then a 7.2 WAR the next year, went back-to-back size. And then since then, everybody thinks he's in decline. But if you go ahead and look at everything he's done since then, a 238, a 108, he was trending to have maybe the best season of all time in 2021. 15 starts with a 1.08. 3.08 in 22 and 11 starts. Then he got hurt with Texas, so he only pitched a little, but then bounces back last year for the first time in a long time. Throws 172 and 2/3 with a 2.97. Has another tremendous year. Doesn't win the Cy Young or anything, but another tremendous year. He'll be 38 next year, so he's running out of time. to gain more WAR. But if he could win one more Cy Young, pull that out of his ass somehow, or somehow post 3 more big time years, he starts to get himself more in the conversation. I am more of the opinion that some guys should get in because they were the best, right? Like, not so much about the longevity, it's about the quality while they were in there. DeGrom is the poster boy of best versus greatest debate in baseball. Other guys that pop into my mind when we're talking about this would be Johan Santana, Don Mattingly. There's another one too. Maybe Tim Lincecum. Those are certain guys that kind of pop into my mind as possibilities for that. Bucky is saying if DeGrom doesn't get in, no pitchers will get in going forward under the current post criteria. I mean, it is changing. You're not going to be able to get as many. You're not going to be able to accumulate as much counting stats. All right, look at Corey Seager. He should be trending up in green. All right, yeah, I didn't look that hard at Siegs. One of my favorite players in baseball as well. So he is at currently 49.2 WAR. Correa 45.7. No, Semion's at 49.2. I didn't realize he was ahead of those guys, but he's much older. Correa, Seager, Xander, Trey, and then Story in the mix. So let's go look at a few of these guys. Correa, I think age is a big factor here. Correa and Seager are both interesting guys to look at for a second. So first Seager, since that was in the chat first. I mean, he's only 31. He's going to play next year at 32. He's got a lot of years left on his contract, right? Oh, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more years left to play baseball, no matter what happens, come hell or high water. I mean, he might get hurt or something, but he also has a World Series MVP under his belt. Also, the WARs have just been incredible. Even this year, 6.2 WAR. So if you look at his average WAR over the last few years, it's over 5. He keeps that going through his prime, which he should still be in. I think I would agree. We're going to put Corey Seager into the green. I love his age. So Corey Seager, we're trending him into the green. Now let's go look at, yeah, I mean, that's a hell of a year. 6 WAR and under 400 at-bats. This would be the concern, is that he can't stay healthy very much. So the interesting thing is all these are taken, McDoodles. All these jobs are already taken. So I don't think Donnie Baseball will be managing, but he'll probably be somewhere. So this is actually a great question. He's not on there at all right now, and obviously he's not active, so he doesn't make this list. And we're going to talk way more Hall of Fame as we keep going this winter, especially on Wednesdays. But I don't know. I love Mad Bum's case because he's the greatest postseason pitcher of all time, arguably. So anyway, is he 2-time World Series MVP? 2-time? Where's his awards? Usually they have the awards all up here. Yeah, 2-time World Series MVP. So he won it that year with the Dodgers. He's a slam dunk. I'm changing him to lock. You can't win 2 World Series MVP and not go to the Hall of Fame. I don't give a crap. Corey Seager, you are now a lock, sir. I have changed my mind. All right, Carlos Correa. Obviously, he's right there with the Altuve and all that stuff. Bregman and all those guys for what they were involved in. But another guy who's very young, 31. He'll start next season as a 31-year-old. He'll play next year in his age 31 season. So he's actually younger than Seager, and he's right there with him in WAR. And he's got plenty more time on his contract as well, right? So he's going to play a bunch more years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's got a good shot. I'm putting him as trending as well. I don't know how this will play out because he has declined somewhat, and he's been a little up and down. You look at these WAR numbers over the past several years. I mean, they're a little bit all over the place. But I'm going to put him as trending. He's got a great opportunity, and this is why it's so cool when you can get to the big leagues young because you have so much more time. Yes, I will be. I'm a big fan of Dominican Winter League and Caribbean Series, so we'll take a look at that actions. Actually, I mean to check the standings in the Lead Dom today, so I should maybe check that out. Everyone hates on the 27 Astros, but want all those players on their teams. This is a good, this is a good comment. But yeah, I mean, he also has a World Series MVP. I think Correa is trending. Semien, I'm not comfortable putting him there. Xander, I mean, he might end up with a good WAR number, but I feel like he's declined more than these other guys. Trey is a possibility. I'll list him as trending as well because he's young, plenty of opportunity. So Trey's trending. Other than that, I don't think any of these other guys are trending. I think that's a good list. I think we did a good job with this. Now, I want to give special consideration to somebody that I know nobody else is ever going to consider, and he won't get in. He won't get in. But David Robertson right here, my guy, is arguably the best with the Yankees, but just doing it. He's now at 881 games pitched, which is definitely in the top 50 all time. And like I mentioned, 1,176 strikeouts, 143 ERA plus. Didn't get enough run at closer, only 179 career saves. But I think D-Rob should get consideration for the Hall of Fame. If he doesn't get in, then really, how does any relief pitcher make it unless you're just racking up saves? So I know people might disagree with me, but I really think he's a pretty good guy. Robertson for Hall of Really Good is what people are saying. Okay. I respect everybody's opinion 100%. Can you take a look at Matt Chapman? I don't know Hall of Fame, but extremely underrated. It's mostly a defensive profile. His offensive numbers, I think, leave something to be desired. He is young, but he's accumulating WAR, especially because of that defensive value that he produces. Also, he's got a lot of years on his contract. I do worry about being on the Giants, though. Like, I don't think offensive WAR it's going to be like that high. His number, I don't think is going to get to that high, but it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, I mean, this year he batted .231 with 21 home runs. Ended up with a 4.1 WAR. His offensive WAR was actually pretty good this year, 3.6. Defensive WAR for the first time kind of declined, kind of backed up a little bit. So he'll play next year at 33. I'm not ready to even put him at trending yet, but he's got an outside shot. If he has a great second half of his career, if Tony Vitello lights a fire under his butt, maybe that could be the case. Where's his contract? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more years in San Fran. So we'll see. We love Matt Olson. Matt Olson's one of my favorite first basemen in the game. This is actually one of my worries about Pete getting paid. What he wants to get paid is that I think Matt Olson might be a slightly better all-around player. I mean, definitely defensively plays just as much as him, and I don't think he should be able to clear Olson maybe in contract value, considering the ages and everything. So I think Matt Olson's the best first baseman in the game. I know there's others, that are in the mix, Freddie, etc. But I think Matt Olson's right there. That was a shrewd, kind of cold-blooded move by the Braves to get rid of Freddie for the younger version in Matt Olson. So we'll do more Hall of Fame talk later about other players, David Wright and stuff like that. But I'm going to stop at the Hall of Fame talk today, and we'll just do a quick 5-10 minutes. We'll do a quick 5 minutes on the free agents. So we'll go over here to trade rumors. Yep, Munetaka Murakami officially getting posted today, which is really cool. I want to do a show where we look a little bit more at the imports. He's an interesting guy. He huge power, hit 50-something home runs in Japan. This is who I'm talking about right here, Munetaka Murakami. A couple of years ago with the Yakult Swallows of Japan. So I'm not going to do a big deep dive on him, but you can see right here, it's 56 home runs back in 2022. And he hasn't duplicated that, but Japan's in the middle of a dead ball era right now, so these power numbers are huge for over there. And he did put up 1,000 OPS this year, albeit he didn't play the whole season. But he's got he's got a bunch of 1,000 OPSs recently and a career 945 in NPB. He's the typical he's offensive profile similar to, I guess, a Kyle Schwarber, but with even more swing and misses in his game. Can he develop into a better eye at the plate, or will he just get abused by American pitching? So I think that's going to be interesting as we come over and watch these dudes. All right, where's the list? of the top 50s. Here it is. This is the MLB Trade Rumors top 50. And we'll just go through these names real quick just as a primer since I can't do a very long stream today. And then we'll hit more on this probably next Wednesday. Real quick thoughts on Walt getting the head job. I love Walt Weiss getting a second opportunity to manage, and this time with a team that I think is a little more in a winning window. He was kind of the manager for the Rockies through. He was kind of the Rockies manager through the period where we were improving, 2014, 2015, 2016. And then we finally broke through in 2017, getting the wild card 2018. He was the man who I think had a really good impact on some of our young players that developed into stars. Charlie Blackmon, Nolan Arenado, Trevor Story, DJ LeMahieu, etc. He managed the pitching staff really well with a lot of young guys. We had Tyler Anderson, John Gray, Chad Bettis. I thought he did a really good job with us. Ultimately, he was in a little bit of a weird front office situation at the time. They ended up replacing him with Bud Black, and the team went on to make the postseason in 17-18. But I thought Walt was a good guy, good leader, and I think he's ready to do things maybe a little bit differently. I think he's maybe learned a lot the last few years under, being the bench coach over there in Atlanta. I think it's a pretty good. I think it's a pretty good fit, honestly. He knows these guys. They needed continuity, but he's a little bit different than Snit. I think he'll bring a little bit more of a progressive approach, and I think they got the right guy. I really do. I know that there's not a lot of excitement maybe about this in Atlanta, but I think Walt's a good fit. Great guy that players love to play hard for, and I'm glad that he's getting a chance to have a roster that can maybe do something. So I wanted to say that really quick. We covered the Gold Gloves the other day. Kirk got robbed. Kirk should have won the award over Dingler, but yeah, he got robbed. That's my thoughts on that. And then here's a quick question. I know it might be a while, but I want to manage. I have no interest in coaching. I want to manage or I want to run a club. So I think coaching is not my dream. It's more so the management side, whether that's in the dugout or in the front office. So that's where we're thinking. All right, let's go take a quick look through these free agents. We'll just go through the names of the top 50 according to MLB Trade Rumors. And I'll tell you maybe a quick thought on each guy. Kyle Tucker. Love this freaking guy. Great outfielder in right field, but also just one of the best hitters I've ever seen, one of the best hitters I've ever played against. I think he did struggle a little bit with that injury with the Cubs, but yeah, Tuck makes sense. He's young. I think a lot of big markets will be in on him. Bo Bichette is the number 2 free agent. I think the Blue Jays will do everything they can to try to retain Bo. He's definitely a big part of their culture. Cease. Now, for me, I'm not paying Dylan Cease 7 years, $189 million. I'm not really going to look. I don't have enough time to go through every guy really hardcore. They're saying Red Sox, Orioles, Red Sox, Phillies are their predictions in here. But for me, this would not be the guy I'd be touching if I have to give him 7 years. I like Dylan Cease, but he's a little bit, I don't know. He's not my cup of tea. He doesn't know how to pitch to contact. I think if he declines a little bit, he could fall off a cliff. And this year, he didn't have the best year, right? What was Dylan's bottom line run prevention this year? We'll wait for that to load. All right. Murakami is the next one. He's interesting. We'll look at him later. Bregman. I think Bregman. So they're saying Tigers, Phillies, Mets, Tigers. I think he needs to stay with the Red Sox. And I would love to see him be in a ballpark where his pull side pop plays. If you take away his pull side pop, he's not going to hit for any slug. All right. I have to go in a minute, so we're just going to do the top 10. Framber, I love Framber as a pitcher. Worried about him a little bit in the clubhouse. They're predicting Giants, Cubs, Giants, Orioles. Whoever gets him is getting an absolute beast, but I'm not sure about him in the clubhouse. So you got to kind of vet that a little bit. Imai, this is another guy I want to break down. Tatsuya Imai, obsessed with this guy from Japan. This guy's a beast. Cubs, Dodgers, Mets, Dodgers are the predictions. Everybody should be in this guy. This guy's a freaking beast. He's going to be really good, I believe. Great slider, great fastball, great athlete. Another Japanese star coming over. Belly. Everybody was going to be in on Belly. Yankees, Mets, Rangers. There are a lot of people predicting him back to the Yankees. If I'm the Yankees, he's my top priority. Getting him to come back would be Cody Bellinger. I think he's versatile. I think his skill set will age well. Next one, Kyle Schwarber. See, this is the one where everybody's saying Phillies, and I agree. I think he goes back to the Phillies, mainly because they know what he provides in the clubhouse. And I'm happy for Kyle that he's finally in a spot where the world knows what he can do. And then Ranger Suarez is the last one in the top 10 on this prediction. Love Ranger as well. He's sort of going to be the poor man's Framber. And I might want to go after him instead of Framber in a way. Really good, durable guy, ground ball guy, knows how to pitch. Not worried about his fastball velocity declining to maintain effectiveness. So I like Ranger Suarez a lot. We'll do more of this on Wednesday, but I'm going to wrap it up for today. The wife is saying we got to go back and pick up some people. So time to get going. Are you ready? Time to go? All right, we got to rock. All right, it's been a fun episode. I know it was short, not even an hour, but we will see you on Monday with Pete Alonso. All right, and we'll break down a lot more of this free agent stuff going on. That was a quick primer. Thanks for hanging with me under a weird circumstance today, and I will see you guys next time. All right, adios. Bye bye.